hier in het NH Koningshof in Veldhoven. Overwinningen op Ronnie Huibrechts, Jarko Komila en Michael Mansell brachten deze man in de halve finale. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Northern Ireland, the history maker, Brendan Dolan!
The first semi-final here at the Dutch Darts Masters, live from Veldhoven. Streamed free and worldwide on the PDC YouTube channel, and you've got the world #1, the reigning world champion, and the home crowd favourite, the last Dutchman left in the tournament, Michael van Gerwen, against Northern Ireland's Brendan Dolan. He made it all the way to the final here last year. It was Kim Huibrechts who did for him on that occasion. Will another continental star bring his Dutch Darts Masters dream to an end? Dan Dawson in the commentary box here for your opening semi-final. Alongside me, Mike Lawrence.
Yes, Brendan, he admitted he did struggle to play his good friend and Northern Irish World Cup teammate Michael Mansell in that quarter-final. He did win 6-3, having also seen off Joe Cullen. Mansell had seen off Joe Cullen to get there. Dolan had beaten Jarko Komila of Finland and Ronnie Huibrechts to get into that quarter-final berth, then seeing off Mansell to book his place in the semi here. Michael van Gerwen saw off Steve Maish. He wobbled a little bit in that game, but saw off the Englishman. Then did another Englishman, Kevin Painter, in the third round. And Wes Newton, fellow Premier League competitor, 6-3 in the quarter-finals. There are grown men dressed as giant rabbits dancing in the aisles. We know that we are getting towards the nerve end of the Dutch Darts Masters. It's been a long weekend, but the packed crowd here in Veldhoven have been treated to some superb matches, and there are still 3 more to come. This the first of 2 semi-finals, and then that'll be followed by the final tonight, and the winner taking home £20,000 and being crowned the Dutch Darts Master.
Yeah, it's a new game. Clean slate for Brendan Dolan. Yeah, clean slate for Brendan Dolan. That's what we'll be thinking. New match. This one against Michael van Gerwen. He was distinctly below par against Mickey Mansell in the quarterfinals.
25, so Brendan will throw first in the months. First leg, Brendan will throw first. Game on.
Michael van Gerwen, he will just be looking to carry on the form that he has displayed today. 104 average against Kevin Painter in the afternoon. 102 average in the evening session when he won his quarter-final against Wes Newton. When he gets a head of steam up in a match, he's very difficult to stop. And we've also seen on tour events like this, he's won a couple of them, won them back-to-back last year, the Euro Tour. When he gets a head of steam up in a tournament, he's very difficult to stop as well. It seems he can just carry that momentum through to the next game and just keep on throwing a brilliant level of darts.
One of the successes Michael had in a very successful 2013 was the Austrian Open, and he beat Brendan in the quarter-final of that tournament, 6-3. The last meeting was in a Players' Championship event in Southern Ireland in Dublin back in October. Michael winning that one 6-5 in the last 16. The head-to-head between them, Michael leads 11-2.
Yeah, 11-2. He has won the last 9 in a row. There was a 3-week period back in November of 2011 when Brendan picked up a couple of wins against him. But 9 times since then, Michael van Gerwen has won. And look at this, he's on 91 after 9 darts. 140, 130, 140. This is a pro leg from Michael van Gerwen. And it's on the Dolan throw as well. Or is he going to go the bull route? No, he's straight at 17s for tops. 11 dart leg for the world #1. That is the reason he's a world champion. It's a breaker throw. Superb darts.
Yes, MVG means business here. Picking up the world title at Ali Pali at the start of the year. He's unbeaten in 2 out of 2 in the Premier League, looking to retain his Premier League title that he won last year. And we've seen him, as you mentioned, Dan, we've seen him steadily improve, steadily progress and steadily focus more and more as this tournament has gone on this weekend.
Yeah, when he does build up that head of steam, he is very, very difficult to stop. You know, Brendan Dolan's slow and deliberate style, it might worry some players, it might mean that they're not unable to produce their best, but Michael, you feel he now has the experience to be able to deal with whatever's thrown at him, whether they're slow players, fast players, whatever they're doing on the hockey. Even Phil Taylor, it doesn't matter to Michael anymore. He whitewashed him, the first whitewash in Premier League history for Phil Taylor. He did it in 13 minutes.
Extraordinary performance that was at the Liverpool Echo Arena. And then he followed it up in Bournemouth with a 7-5 victory over Robert Thornton last week.
Well, after an 11 dart leg to start the match, Brendan has now managed to get his nose in front. He's taken out 167 already this weekend. I don't think he'd have gone for the bullseye even if he'd have had the option, because Michael is not on a finish. And he has set that up fantastically as Brendan. All Michael can do is try and put some pressure on. But after that 11 dart leg to start and break the Dolan throw, he's not even managed to go out in 15 on his own throw. And that's always going to leave the door open when you get to this stage of a PDC tournament, because the quality is such that your opponent is always likely to do it in 15 darts. There's always a very good chance as Brendan Dolan works his way in and doesn't take advantage.
Well, a real contrast in legs for Van Gerwen from the first to the second, but he does have a chance here to go 2-0 up. It was the double seven that he needed. So that awkward double 9 then for Dolan. For one apiece, not awkward for the man from Belcoo in Northern Ireland. And we are all square.
Yeah, Brendan Dolan on his run to the final last year. We took out big names like Gary Anderson, and Simon Whitlock in the semi-finals. So, look, there might have been people writing Brendan off coming into this against Michael van Gerwen. He's no stranger to taking on the big names and beating them. Admittedly, those we highlighted, Michael van Gerwen is something of a bogeyman for him. Well, I think if you look at Michael van Gerwen's head-to-head record with most players over the last couple of years, it's going to be very favourable towards the Dutchman.
Yes, indeed.
But 9 times in a row losing to him, that is the kind of thing that'll stick in your mind. And it does go back to, you know, 2011, 2012, before Michael really took off and became the player that he is today.
Yes, he did have that incredible return to form, van Gerwen, having been a teenage wonder kid and youth champion. Sort of drifted off the scene for a while and then burst back, as you say, 2012 into 2013. But a place in the Dutch Dance Masters final at stake. Mervyn King against Ian White coming up our second semi-final, and Ian White a dangerous opponent right now. There's 60 on the ball for Dolan, not what he needed. And great to see Mervyn King. He's battling through the pain barrier this weekend with a bad back, but great to see Mervyn King at the business end of a big PDC tournament.
Now, well, a player who shall remain nameless told me that he was having a chat with Mervyn for a good hour this morning and he saw no sign, didn't even mention a back problem. Could the King be playing possum? Well, that's a little bit of a missed opportunity for Brendan. He did, to be fair, have 60 on the floor in his previous visit. I think he'd be down to 56 were it not for that. But a 140 from Michael van Gerwen really does apply the pressure. Now, if he doesn't take this out, Michael van Gerwen has a chance of making it a 3rd consecutive break of throw. Look at this, he's going to get a shot. He is going to get a shot, Brendan Dolan. And double top is there. 116 check out for Brendan Dolan, under pressure as well. He holds his throw and he has a 2-1 lead now on the world #1.
Yes, good work from the Northern Irishman. Sorry, Dan. Yeah, van Gerwen's
other half looking a little bit nervous there. A little bit nervous.
Nervy times here in the Koningshof Hotel in Veldhoven.
And there's a little cabal of Dutch fans making a bit of a noise. The rest of them, I think they'll join in once their man MVG kicks in. But is he going to? Is Dolan going to let him?
And this is similar to what we saw in a way in Michael's opening match against Steve Maish, where we got off to a blistering start and then just seemed to sort of go off the boil and ended up running 6-4 that match against Maish, but just for a spell in the middle of the game there, just had a few sloppy legs, and I think this is one of the things that he sometimes can drift off in games, but he tends to get the job done in the end.
Well, this is a solid looking leg from Michael though. On a finish after 12 darts, on double top after 12 darts. You would fancy him to come back and nail that double top. And Brendan, well, a 140 applies some pressure, 131 does. But double top for Michael van Gerwen to level the match. That'll do. Well, that will do. The first one looked a good marker, the second one looked to make it a little bit awkward. But the third one, no messing. 2 apiece.
Job done then in the end by van Gerwen. After a little bit of a untidy leg at times. Good start from Brendan. And a great start here from van Gerwen at 180. to kick off his first of the match, and only his third of the tournament. Sorry, his 10th. I thought that didn't sound right when I looked at my screen there.
Yeah, it's his 9th of his tournament, I think.
9th of the tournament. I suddenly thought, no, that can't be right.
Wait, hang about. There's his 10th, and Michael van Gerwen is on the 9-darter. Back-to-back 180s for Michael van Gerwen. And it's on the Brendan Dolan throw. Could we see the perfect leg from the world number 1? Well, Brendan Dolan's looking for a maximum of his own. It's only a 140, but Michael van Gerwen looking for the perfect leg.
For a 9-darter, it's not to be, drifting into the treble 5, and so does the second dart. Well, it's been a long weekend for all of us. I'm going boggle-eyed in front of my computer screen. Van Gerwen there, just his sights out in an attempt to bring us the first 9-darter of the weekend, which would have raised the roof among the local fans here. He lives just about half an hour down the road.
Yeah, well, it's certainly roused them, hasn't it? It's 110 he's looking at now, and that is not good enough. Into the 5 again. And after 2 perfect visits, he's had 2 pretty ropey ones, to be honest, and Brendan Dolan can hold his throw here. A leg that Michael van Gerwen started with back-to-back 180s. 6 darts into a perfect 9, but Brendan Dolan is going to get 1 dart to hold his throw. Double 16 for Brendan Dolan, and he's missed inside. And Michael van Gerwen wants double 14 for a break and a 3-2 lead. Double 7, don't miss inside, Michael. There it is! A little deflection, and it's to his benefit.
And as we've seen plenty of times this weekend, those are the sort of moments on which these matches can hinge. With them just being the first of 6 legs, was that a chance for Dolan? How's that going to affect him? Not starting this leg well, unable to find a treble.
Yeah, Michael van Gerwen, look at the body language. He is bouncing around on that stage. He knows he's playing well and filling it up again. Michael van Gerwen, 180, number 3 of the match. He is threatening to blast off into the distance, leaving Brendan Dolan, last year's beaten finalist, eating his dust.
140.
65 is good enough for Michael van Gerwen to only need 1 treble when he comes back. And Brendan, even a maximum here. Well, he's having a go. Well, he needed the maximum to leave himself on a finish. It still would have been a big one. But here we go, van Gerwen. There's the treble he wanted. There's the fat 16 and double tap and 116. And Michael van Gerwen is absolutely motoring. He's on a roll, 3 legs in a row. The fists are pumping. The gurney's going. You're getting the cries of bam from the Dutchman. This is what his game is about. This is what has elevated him to the status of world number 1. And he's filling it up again. There you go. 180, number 4 for Michael van Gerwen. He kicks off with another 180. And quite frankly, when he's in this mood, this is when you start thinking you could have a perfect leg on your hands.
He really is on fire now. And with each lift of momentum, it seems to just spur him on even further. Oh, well, there were 5 perfect darts. You can see how much that means to him.
Agonisingly close for Michael van Gerwen there. Agonising for the fans as well. Oh, look at this, Brendan Dolan. Wow. Doing his best, doing his best. And 100 keeps him right there with Brendan. Treble 20 he'll look for. And staying on the 20s for double 8. Double 8 he wants. And there it is, a 12 darter from Brendan Dolan. What's that, Michael? 5 perfect darts to start the leg? I don't care. Have that 96 check out.
Yep, he really needed that, did Dolan, you feel. Van Gerwen would have gone just one leg away from victory, but this puts a completely different complexion on the game now. And Dolan, as we've seen him do this weekend and in other tournaments, he will just keep playing his game, playing the board. Won't get fazed by his opponent or the crowd. He just does his own thing, does Brendan.
Yeah, well, when we've seen Michael blast past opponents, he did it at times in the World Championship. Certainly in the early stages against Peter Wright and Mark Webster particularly. He's absolutely brilliant in the opening stages of his match with him. But at the Players' Championships as well, particularly. In leg format, he managed to turn on the afterburners and come from behind against Adrian Lewis and Phil Taylor in the semi-final and the final. And neither of those guys could produce a 12-dart leg to stop the momentum he built up. It looked like he was going to do that right here. But Brendan Dolan has pulled out that 12-darter to try and arrest that momentum that he was building up, to stop him just roaring off into the distance. Now, don't get me wrong, he's got a lot of work to do here.
It's a slip with the last start there from Van Gerwen into the single 4. You saw how frustrating he thought that was. But he is on a potential 2-dart finish. But pressure put on the shot yet again by Dolan, just to keep on his coattails. He wants double top.
And look at this, that missed double top means that Brendan Dolan is going to have at least 1 dart, you would think, to break back, to get that break back, to level the match at 4 apiece. Well, it's only going to be 1 dart, and it's 1 dart at double 16. Oh my word! That could be massive in the context of this game.
It could indeed be massive. Another one of those key moments that should Brendan Dolan go out here, that he'll look back at and say, what if?
Yeah, he scrapped and he battled and he stayed with Van Gerwen in that leg, waiting to pounce if he missed. He did miss, but so did Dolan. If he'd just been able to hit that double 16, he'd be throwing for a 5-4 lead himself here.
Just 60 from the first 3 darts from Van Gerwen. So a chance for Dolan to power on. Of course, throwing first here, Dolan, if he were to make it 5-4, Van Gerwen would still have the darts. The advantage would still very much be with him.
He has been good at that this weekend, Brendan. Even if his first dart is a little bit wayward, a little bit high, or straying into the 5 or the 1, he has been able to adjust and get back to his intended target more often than not. And Michael is right there with him in this leg. But Brendan has the 3 darts in his hand. That's not a bad one for him. Well, he needs to put one in the treble bed, and he hasn't. And this is the chance that Michael has been waiting for. Can he take advantage? Can he leave himself? Oh, he can't leave himself anything particularly easy to close out the match. Not averse to a big finish is Brendan. He's already taken out 116 in this match, 167 early on in the weekend. Here we go, another one of those is what he wants. He might have to throw this quickly. Is that falling out the board? I think it's safe. Double 18 is what he wanted, and he's missed it.
Well, that would have been massive. But as it is, he will come back for double 9. To take us to 5-4. With Van Gerwen poised on double 18 to win the match. Getting closer. Good marker to slide in, and yes, with the third dart, makes it 5-4. So still keeping things very interesting here in this first semi-final of the Dutch Masters in Veldhoven.
Michael Van Gerwen. I've asked him before now. You know, what do you look for when you've got the darts? He says 140, lead off 140, it's easy. That's all you need. He has failed to hit a single treble on his first visit, and Brendan Dolan has hit a 140, and that means that Brendan is piling the pressure on the world number 1. And Brendan Dolan's effectively stolen the darts here. Put this in context, if Brendan Dolan can win this leg, if he can break the Van Gerwen throw, he will be throwing for the match. And look at this from Brendan Dolan. Ooh, I think even he thought it was a 140 for a moment. Back comes Van Gerwen, there's a 180! 5th one of the match for Michael Van Gerwen.
And what a time to find your scoring range with another ton 80.
And that was a bit of a flyer from Brendan Dolan, and that means Michael Van Gerwen has got 6 darts from 165 for the match. There's one treble that he wanted. He'd love another one, and he's got another one. And Michael Van Gerwen will be coming back to the hockey. He will be looking at double top for the match, and all Brendan Dolan can do is try and apply some pressure. But it looks like his Dutch Darts Masters hopes are going to be ended in the semi-finals. It's not as far as he got last year before his hopes were ended by Huybrechts. This time, it's the Dutchman, the world number 1, Michael Van Gerwen, who does for him. A 13-dart leg to finish things off. And Mighty Mike is in the final. The world number 1 wins 6-4. The crowd are happy, they're dancing. Van Gerwen's happy, he's celebrating. Who is Van Gerwen going to face in the final? It is down to Ian White and Mervyn King in the second semi. We're going to have that in a matter of moments after a few words from your winner, Michael Van Gerwen.
Brendan Dolan! Ja, nog één te gaan.
Ja, zeker nog één te gaan, maar die was niet makkelijk. Ik weet, Brendan Dolan is, ik denk, de meest onderschatte dartspeler in de PDC. En om überhaupt je ritme te krijgen tegen hem, dat is wel heel moeilijk. En je zag het op het eind, werd steeds moeilijker, want je wil natuurlijk zo graag winnen. En hij bleef goed gooien, maar ik ben zo blij dat ik hier win. En ik kijk ontzettend uit naar de finale natuurlijk. Ja, jammer dat Vincent er niet meer in zit, maar aan de zaal ligt het zeker niet hoor, dat is niet normaal.
We gooien halverwege de wedstrijd 2 keer 180. Denk je er dan zelf aan?
Ja, zeker. Ik dacht eerst pas dat hij goed, maar ging in triple 5, dus daar was ik wel ziek van. Maar ja, winnen dat is het belangrijkste toch, of niet? Ze willen toch allemaal dat hier een Nederlander wint, toch? Of niet?
Het lijkt mij wel. Hij staat in ieder geval in de finale. Dames en heren, Michael van Gerwen! En dat betekent dat we nog 1 halve finale te spelen hebben. 2 minuten gaan we beginnen.